And this morning I would like to title the message, Witness Tampering. Anybody ready for this word? Witness, say it with me, witness tampering. Since our theme this year is evidence, if any of you know anything about the legal arena, if you ever watch trials or you watch court proceedings, you know there's something called evidence tampering. Evidence tampering is defined as an act in which a person alters, conceals, falsifies, or destroy evidence with the intent to interfere with an investigation. Many of you remember the O.J. Simpson trial. And one of the reasons why he was acquitted the first time was because his team was able to prove that for some reason the LAPD tampered with the evidence. And so many of you remember Johnny Cochran, the famous lawyer who said, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. And so evidence tampering is where sometimes they will mess with the evidence that causes the jury not to be able to render a guilty verdict because the evidence has been manipulated. But also in the court of law, there is certain legal proceeding. There's a concept called witness tampering. And some of you go, where's Dr. Phil going with this message this morning? Follow me closely. When you study the Bible in the context of witness tampering, the very first book of the Bible to the last book, there is an activity between heaven and hell. From the moment that you read Genesis chapter 1, you get to chapter 3, you start to see witness tampering. Because the reason why God created Adam and Eve was to represent himself in the earth realm as evidence that God exists. And God manifests himself in the flesh through man to bring us into a relationship with him. And we find because Satan could not get to God, God's first evidence of his existence, Satan tampers with it. I want you to follow me here closely. His temptation of Adam and Eve was not just to destroy their future. It was to prove God a liar. That you cannot create something that can beat me. And so I want to teach you something this morning, that God created you not just to be a Christian, but to be a witness. Let me say it again. God didn't just create you to be a human being on the earth realm, but he created you to be a witness. That's why Psalm 8 says, you and I are crowned with glory. We were meant to be replicas of who God is. And that's why the enemy messes with us, so that we can be manipulated and tampered, so we're not whole and healthy witnesses.